Okay, so the title of the presentation is New Technology for Safe Operation of Wet Stacks at Full Plant Capacity. And it will address the problem of spitting that can occur when a power plant runs a wet stack downstream of a flue gas desulfurization plant, especially when the velocity becomes too high. And before I go into the presentation itself, I would like to speak briefly about the problem of spitting. What spitting is, of course, and most in our audience will know this very well, it is the ejection of acid liquid droplets from an FGD wet stack into the environment surrounding the power plant. And this spitting can rain down on the environment surrounding the power plant, so on the plant itself and on neighboring villages and crops, and it can be extremely damaging, so it has to be absolutely prevented. Now, our company is a supplier of internal lining systems for power plant chimneys. We specialize in the field of borosilicate glass block lining systems, and we are already supplying to several projects in India. We have now developed a special technology that will help FGD wet stacks to be more safe against this problem of spitting, even at higher velocities. So what I'll be talking about is what we call the 45-degree high velocity pattern of the lining for FGD wet stacks. It is a special way to install these borosilicate glass block linings so that they will drain the liquid from the wet stack better and more safely, even at higher velocities. To give you some background, there are different materials that can be used on the inside of a chimney, certainly on the inside of an FGD wet stack. And here is a listing of the most important systems by US EPRI, the Electric Power Research Institute. And for each of these systems, acid brick, alloy, FRP, borosilicate block, and also for coated steel flues, the EPRI gives a recommended velocity that can be used. So if we go to the category that we are talking about, which is the borosilicate glass block, we see that the recommended velocity in an FGD wet stack maximum is 18.3 meters per second. So if we go faster than 18.3 meters per second in the FGD wet stack, this spitting problem will start. Now, of course, this is quite a strong limitation, and quite a few customers have power plants where the chimney velocity can actually be higher than 18.3, and they need a good solution for this. And that is why we developed this 45-degree high velocity pattern. Here we see that in order to develop a lining system that allows greater velocity, we tested a number of different varieties. On the left side, which we call panel 1, you see the normal lining system, the normal borosilicate glass block lining system, where the blocks have been placed in an upright position. This is the way we normally use the system, and this is the system that has the limitation of 18.3 meters per second. So I will not speak specifically about each and every panel. That would take too much time, but you can see that we tried to different varieties where the blocks were installed with different shapes and sizes and under different angles. And each of these panels were tested for their behavior in a wind tunnel with liquid present. It's a standard test procedure done by this special company from the USA, Holden. So what we found is that this is the variety that has the best properties for wet stack liquid draining safety. It's the 45-degree high velocity pattern. And so what it means is that we install the blocks using this special pattern. And I'll show what the results are. So as I had mentioned before, the conventional lining system has a maximum velocity, a maximum allowable velocity of 18.3 meters per second. Now, if we use the lining system in this new pattern, the recommended velocity goes up by 3 meters per second, up to 21.3 meters per second. So the allowable velocity is much greater. I also want to mention that the first project has been done now in India using the 45-degree pattern. It is the NTPC Bar 1 power station in Bihar state. This power plant has a chimney with an existing steel flue. It needed to be lined with a borosilicate glass block lining system, and we are using the system in this pattern to make the chimney more safe against spitting. So I'm coming already to the final point of this presentation, this special pattern. First of all, I do want to mention that the extra cost of the special pattern is basically zero, because the same materials that our company supplies and that can be used, and the work productivity is nearly the same. So we see actually that there is very little or no additional cost from using this pattern. So it is a very good improvement of the wet stack environmental safety. And definitely we have identified 3 cases where the use of this pattern should be considered. Number 1, if any customer wants to line an existing chimney where the flue gas velocities will be higher than 18.3 meters per second, we recommend to use this system, the 45-degree pattern, to make the chimney more safe. The second point, chimneys where increased gas volumes can occur. And this is a very important one, because we see many customers who have dimensioned their chimney nicely for 18.3 meters per second in the most common operating case, which is guarantee volume. But when the plant is operated at design point, i.e. when the market demands that the power plant is operated at 100% capacity, then the gas volume can increase. And we have identified quite a number of power plants where during such full load design point operation, the gas volume is much higher and the gas velocity in the chimney will be well above 18.3 meters per second, sometimes 20, sometimes 21 meters per second. So for those cases, we recommend to place our lining system in the 45-degree pattern also. And finally, we recommend to use the 45-degree pattern for chimneys with unstable gas entry velocities, where the duct geometry is such that there is an imbalance in the gas flow going into the chimney, leading to localized high velocities in the entry area. So that is my presentation. It is short and practical, but I think it can be important for quite a few customers in India and in other countries. Thank you.